Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Rewind that. It's your girl Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Tonight I'm going to be going over the latest episode of House of the Dragon. That's season 1, episode number 8, and it's called The Lord of the Tides. All right, guys, so we're going to get right into this episode, and this episode, it starts off with Rhaenys, right? We're going to be at Driftmark when we first get into this episode. And we see Rhaenys, she's sitting on the throne in the Hall of Nine. And she hasn't seen her husband in 6 years, okay, guys? And she finds out through a messenger that Lord Corlys has suffered a wound in battle and he now has a fever, okay? So they don't know if he's going to survive. So while she is hearing this news, Vaemon is also there. And his main concern is who's going to succeed Corlys and take the throne of Driftmark when Corlys dies, or if he dies, right? So Rhaenys tells Vaemon that it will be Lucerys, like Corlys has always wanted. And that's when Vaemon starts talking about how Rhaenyra's kids are bastards. And Rhaenys tells him that, you need to be careful of how you're talking because my cousin, the king, would have your tongue out for that, okay, for that kind of talk. So that's when Vaemon says that the king doesn't sit on the throne these days, it's the queen. So because of this, he wants to go to King's Landing and put the legitimacy of Rhaenyra's sons to question. Now, during this whole thing, we also saw that Baela, who's pretty much grown up, I think she's probably like 17 now, 18, she's standing right next to her grandmother. And she's witnessing this conversation. So she sends word to Rhaenyra and Daemon. All right. And Rhaenyra is like, okay, we need to get to King's Landing. All right. I need to get to my father. He needs to be involved because if not, it's going to hit the fan. All right. We already know that these people, they're not going to be on our side. The people obviously is the Greens. If the Greens like Otto and Alicent are the ones that are pretty much ruling right now while her father is bedridden, she already knows that they're going to rule in favor of Vaemon. And this is just going to set off a series of events, unfortunate events for Rhaenyra, and possibly even mess up her claim, right? Hey, Savannah and William. So they get ready to go to King's Landing. And honey, it is dry, okay? Like they were not received well at all. She is the princess and the heir to the throne, and no one really there to receive her like they should receive a princess and the future heir. And with the way her father is looking, like she's literally supposed to be getting ready to take her throne, to ascend to the throne. So to have this type of welcome is pretty freaking jacked up, all right? So once again, we have Silent Daemon, he's just taking it all in, guys, as usual, taking it all in. And I just love that about him. All right. So I wanted to show you guys what's going on inside the castle when it comes to Alicent. And this is a guard named Eric. All right. Now I wanted to show him because in the book, I'm not going to say that he's important, but it just goes to show like how lines are divided in this whole story. And you see, she said Sir Arik, right? And he said, no, lady, my queen, I'm Eric. So he has a twin brother and no one can tell them apart. And if you read the books, you know that this is going to be a very significant story. So I'm actually glad that they have that in here because we really need to see that story between these brothers and how things go when it comes to choosing sides, because that's what's going to happen. People are going to choose sides, and just because we twins, it doesn't mean that we both think alike and we're going to wind up being on the same side. So I'm going to just say that, and that is that. Hey, Sabrina. So Sir Eric came to tell Alicent that there's been some problems, there's been some trouble. So while she's looking at this little girl named Diana, all stoic and everything, the girl is hysterically crying because she done got herself into some trouble. Most likely she's knocked up because it appears that her son, Aegon, the nasty one, has arred her, okay? And she is just looking like, oh my gosh. Like, let me tell you what this lady is thinking. She's not thinking about this poor girl who probably had her virginity taken, who's been taken advantage of. She's not thinking about that. You know what she's thinking about? She's thinking about the fact that Rhaenyra is here, because she already got word that her guests have arrived. She's thinking about the fact that Rhaenyra is here and her son is acting up this way, because Rhaenyra is the heir to the throne and she wants to undermine that, obviously, and she does not want anybody to show that they're less than perfect. Okay, like if you're gonna be the king instead of Rhaenyra, you can't be acting like this. That's why when she went to go see her son, she said that. She said, "How could you act like this, especially on a day like this?" And he's like, "A day like what?" You know what I'm saying? We'll get back to that, but like I said, the little girl, she's there, she's here, and she is just hysterical and crying. And so out comes the infamous tea, guys, the tea that gets rid of things, unfortunately, or fortunate for some people. So she gave the girl the tea that Rhaenyra most likely took. Obviously, she took it when she had her little ball with Sir Christian Cole. Okay, so now we're back with Rhaenyra and Daemon, and they're visiting the king. And you know, Daemon has never looked so freaking concerned and sad since we've been watching this show, and we know that he's been the little brother who's been giving his older brother hell, but you can see he was so sympathetic and he really hated seeing his brother like this. Okay, and it really touched my heart, to be honest. Hey, Art Love. So he's saying, even though he wasn't trying to get sentimental or nothing like that, he just kind of like got right into business. Like, well, you know, Lord Corlys was hurt in the stepstones and all this stuff, and now they're gonna bring up the line of succession. So Rhaenyra was looking at him like, you know, she kind of gave him a look, and they gave each other a little glance, like, "Are you really talking?" Like, you just went right in there, didn't you, pal? So, I'm sorry. The king was like, "Well, Otto deals with that. Listen to Otto. He takes care of those things." Guys, the king looks terrible. I mean, he looks terrible. He basically has a hole in his face. His eye, you know, later on we see that he has a missing eye. He looks terrible, guys. I don't understand. Like, I see that, of course, they're going to make some differences when it comes to the book and the show, but I really don't understand why they decided to take this route where the king is just kind of like, his body is like deteriorating. I don't understand why they decided to do that. Like, he's super skinny, like he's almost a skeleton, and in the books he's fat. You know, he dies fat, you know? I mean, he probably had a heart attack is how he died, because he had like back pains and chest pains, and you know, so those things started to get a little worse for him, and then one day he went to bed and he just didn't wake up. But this right here, yo, they doing my man dirty on the show. All right, like this man, it's like they gave him some type of flesh rotting type of thing, flesh eating substance or something like that they putting in that tea. Okay, hey Moochie Am. They putting, yes, he's like the Walking Dead. He looks horrible. And hey, pretty girl, hope you feel better, boo. Horrible, all right? But yeah, he's just like, oh, I can't. You know, he's trying his best to speak, and he's trying to remember who the heck he's talking to and everything, but he just can't really, like, he's a little incoherent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he sees what's going on, he hears what's going on, but they keep giving him milk of the poppy, and it's putting him out of his mind a little bit. All right, we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. So when the king says, listen to what Otto has to say, he takes care of all that now. And Daemon was like, no, listen, brother, you need to reassert yourself, okay? Assert your position about who's going to take the throne at Driftmark, okay? And you need to make sure that it's Lucerys, right? And I guess because, she hasn't seen her dad in a long time and she's like, he is not feeling good. Like, this is really not the freaking time. You know what I'm saying? So she changes the subject a little bit, Rhaenyra, and she decides that she wants him to meet her babies. Okay. So I don't know if I told you guys, if I said it already, but Rhaenyra is pregnant for the third time. This is her third baby with Daemon, but her sixth child overall. So she introduces him to baby Aegon. Then she introduces him to Viserys, his namesake. And he's like, oh, the name fit for a king, blah, blah, blah. And it was a nice little moment. Okay. All right. But he's like, oh, and he's moaning and all this pain and everything. And then I'm just listening to these babies in the background. And I'm like, would y'all get rid of these babies crying like this while this man is in all this pain and stuff like that? Get him out of here. Get your babies out of here, Rhaenyra. He met them. Now they got to go because they ain't doing nothing but crying, disturbing the peace, and the man is in pain. That's the last thing somebody want to hear if they in pain, y'all. So a bunch of babies crying. Like, no, we're not doing that. Okay. So he was like, give me my tea. Give me my tea. So Daemon gives him the cup and he's drinking. And then Daemon's like looking inside and then he starts smelling it and all of that. And he's like, so now they're realizing that they're just drugging him up. You know what I'm saying? So later on, they do press the issue, but we'll talk. So now we get back to what I was talking about how Alicent was talking down on her son Aegon. And then she says, look, Aegon. So then she says to him, you're not my son. You're no son of mine. Because he was like, when she said, how could you do this to me, to your sister on this day of all days? He was like, what day is it? Like, what are you talking about? And it's the day is because Rhaenyra is here. Okay. She don't want to look bad in front of Rhaenyra at all, as if Rhaenyra is thinking about her. She's not. All right. So she's like, you're no son of mine. And it kind of hurt my feelings. I felt bad for him because he really doesn't want to be a king. He just wants to get drunk and have some sex. That's it. He's just, it is what it is. Everybody's not meant to be a freaking king. And he definitely is not, because his father did not choose him. And she doesn't even need to be putting all this pressure on him because the father didn't choose him. So she's doing all this unnecessarily. And I hate that. So I did feel bad for Aegon in this moment, because who wants to hear their mother or any parent say something like that? And he's like, I try. I don't see him trying, to be honest with you, child, but whatever, baby. He said, I try and it's never good enough for you or father, blah, blah, blah. And the only reason why it's not good enough for your father, baby, is because he only thinks about Rhaenyra. I'm sorry, sweetheart. So now we get to this scene where she's finally coming in. And when I say she, I'm talking about Alicent. She's finally coming in to say hello to her guest. Okay. Like I said, this is supposed to be the heir to the throne and the king consort. So you're supposed to have a way better welcome than this. And she's on some, oh, it's so good to see you, all this. And Daemon calls her out on it. Oh, so good that, it didn't merit a good enough welcome. You know what I'm saying? Like, that welcome was trash. Dang, look at him just sitting there like, yeah, that welcome was trash. So how happy are you really? How good of it is it? How good is it really? Sorry. So then, they started, because before she came in, Rhaenyra was like, he just looks like a different person. And maybe I could get my maces to come here and see what's going on so they could take a look and see what they're giving him, all this stuff, right? So they are pressing Alicent about this issue now, like, what's going on with him? And when he was first saying, like, how come y'all didn't greet us the proper way? Rhaenyra was like, no, darling, it's okay, because, it's a lot. We don't know how it is to rule a kingdom. Rhaenyra was coming with her nice, nasty, like, we don't know how it is to rule a kingdom, So Alicent says, I'm not ruling, as you know. And, like, basically, it's still your father. And Daemon was like, okay, well, exactly how is that? Hit through wheezes and winks? Like, how the freak does this dude rule? Because he clearly can't understand what the heck is going on. His memory is gone practically, right? So he's not himself. So she's saying, well, he's been in so much pain that we have to keep him on something for the pain. We're trying to keep him comfortable and all of that stuff. So that was the whole issue there. But then, they kind of got off of it. And then Rhaenyra started asking, well, who's going to be the one in charge since he's not in charge? I mean, since my dad supposedly is the one still ruling, who's going to be the one presiding over my situation tomorrow? The little hearing that we have about Driftmark, the succession. And she says that would be me. So, that's going to be a problem, right, guys? So now we also have this scene with the Strong Boys. No disrespect, but I just have to say it. The Strong Boys are now in the yard and they see their uncle. But before they see their uncle, Lucerys is saying, oh, everybody's looking at us. And, they no wonder they don't think we're the real son, the sons of Laenor, because we don't look like him, right? And Jace is saying, look, don't worry about that. Don't worry about anything that they think, right? So it sounds like Jace has come more around to the way his mother is teaching him how to think, right? None of that matters. So now they go and there's a commotion going on because we see that Aemon and Sir Christian Cole, they're going at it like they're, it's not real fighting. They're training in the yard. And we see that Aemon, he got it going on. He's pretty bad. So we're getting a little taste that this guy is a fighter for real. Okay. Getting a lot of training, especially if he's getting training under Sir Christian Cole. He's going to be really, really good. All right. And he just looks like he's bad. He looks evil a little bit, to be honest with you. So this is not a great picture, but I had to show it because this entrance was totally weak. They had the music on as if it was some great entrance or whatever, or I guess not really a great entrance, but like, here comes the problems. Okay. But it had nothing on this. Okay. And that's all I got to say. And I shall move on. So Vaemon is here. And he has his own little private audience or, little meeting with Otto and Alicent. And he's basically letting them know that, first of all, Otto is all for it. He doesn't care. He's like telling Alicent, well, who do you want on, when it comes to someone that's more experienced, like some like allies and stuff? Do you want it to be someone who is a child who is not experienced at sea and all that stuff, or do you want him? Obviously, talking about Vaemon. And she just, honestly, she looks like she's not here for it for some reason. Like, she just doesn't look like she's interested in all this. And it looks like it's a burden to her. So he's telling them, Vaemon is telling them, look, if you make me the next Lord of the Tides will be in debt to y'all. All right. So meanwhile, we get Rhaenyra, who has to talk to Rhaenys, and she tries to butter her up by bringing Rhaena along with her. Okay, because Baela lives with Rhaenys at Driftmark, right? So she's coming to her and she's saying, first she has to let her know that she had nothing to do with killing her son, because Rhaenys is pissed at her and Daemon because she thinks that they killed her son. And she says, no, I loved your son. I didn't kill him. And I never, I wasn't happy when it happened. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, will you speak for me tomorrow and all of that? Because she's like, I could obviously see that this is a trap that's happening. So will you side with me and everything? And, Rhaenys is just not here for it. Like, girl, just bye for right now. Okay. So then Rhaenyra says, well, listen, I got a great offer for you. Let's join our houses, our children. Okay. Your grandkids, they're going to marry my sons. Okay. So your daughter will be your granddaughter, Baela, will be the queen of the Seven Kingdoms, and Rhaena will be Lady of High Tide and all that. So, Driftmark, sorry. So she's like, oh, that's a generous offer, but honey, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because the high towers are going to they're gonna throw their first blow at you. They're gonna land their first blow tomorrow, honey. Okay. And when they bring you to your knees, I'm gonna be standing by myself, because you got to look at it the way Rhaenys is looking at it. Rhaenys is looking at it like, okay, my husband, he's hurt. He might be dying. I haven't seen him. And now my cousin, the king, he's out of commission. So how the heck I'm gonna look siding with you? I don't have nobody backing me. So even if I did stand with you, my word would mean nothing. Because why? Because she's always understood what it means to be a woman in this time. Okay? And that's what it is. What up, Montana Max and OC Girl and Chrissy and Crystal King and Naya? All right. She understands what it is to be a woman. And so, look, my cousin ain't gonna be there. My husband ain't gonna be there. So, girl, I'm by myself. Sorry, can't help you. All right. So now Rainey's goes and she's going to her father. Like they're by themselves now. So she's like, I don't want this. Like, do you really believe in the prince that was promised? Because this is a serious burden, and I thought I wanted it, but I don't want it. All right. And so he gets up and he didn't get up, but he opens his eyes and he's like, my only child. And I said, no, this ninja did not say my only child. And it goes back to the whole joke that I brought up last week with the breakfast. Okay. Rhaenyra's breakfast is on the left, and his other kids with Allison that don't matter. It's on the right. Okay. That's what I think Lexa Targaryen was saying. They duty kids. Yeah, they don't matter. At the end of the day, you are my only child. And when he said this, she was like, then you need to speak up for me. If you want me to bear this, if you want me to take on this serious, heavy crown, this heavy burden, because when you named me the heir, you divided the kingdoms. Like you said it was supposed to unite, but you divided the kingdoms. You named me the heir. So we don't see how any of this ends. But he was listening, right? And then the next thing you know, they're bandaging all of the holes in his body up and all that other stuff, right? And Otto is there and he tells Otto that he wants to have supper. Like he wants everybody to be called to a dinner, his whole family. All right. And so after that, Otto was like, okay. And then look at his body, guys. And then he's like, all right, how about let's give you some milk of the poppy. Excuse me, sorry guys. Let's give you some milk of the poppy and get you back to bed. Like he says that it's morning time and you're giving him milk of the poppy. So you're not even giving this guy a chance. I understand that he's in pain, but did he not just probably get out of bed and here it is, you're trying to drug him so he can go back to sleep? Like they don't want this man to be coherent at all. They don't want him to know what the heck is going on or anything. So Viserys says, no, I don't want none this time. Just set up the dinner like I said. You like, thank you. Like I'm telling you, I keep saying it and some other people have said it too. Viserys is not dumb. He does make some kind of stupid decisions, but he's not dumb. All right, so let me see what some of y'all are saying. So OC Girl says Viserys don't know them other kids. And no, he don't. This episode was so emotionally draining and sad. It really was. It was, OC. And the second time that I watched it, I almost shed a tear. And hopefully when we get to that part, I hope that I remember what I was talking about. So here it is. He refuses this drink because it's the milk of the poppy. All right. So now we have our little court session, if you will, right? So we bringing up the succession issue when it comes to Driftmark. And we got who's sitting on the Iron Throne, of course, Otto. And Vaemond is, he's stating his case about how he's true Valyrian blood and he's the only one left and blah, blah, blah. And Rhaenyra was over there like, no, he's not. You're not the only one left. What about my sons? Here we go with Rhaenyra, keep the lie alive. You know how she is. Keep the lie alive. My sons, excuse me, they got true Valyrian blood. So they tell her to wait your turn. That's what Queen Alicent says, wait your turn. So he's saying what he said. Then when it's her time to speak, she wants to know, she wants to get into it. Like, wasn't it, I think she was going to talk about something, 20 years ago. But before she could finish what she's saying, the door opens and child, in comes Viserys, and they mention him, that they go through all the names, the 1 million names that they had, and then Daenerys gonna have the nerve to add on 5 million more, which was so freaking annoying. But anyway, so all the names that they say, here comes Viserys, and I said, Viserys, you are something else. You are something else, okay? And child, he came down that freaking aisle like he was whipping them, okay? Like, you know how when a child is getting whooped by their parents and they are talking? Didn't I tell you to leave the line of succession alone? Because it took him forever to get down there. But my man was struggling, and he was doing it for his child. Like, you better leave my daughter alone. All right. How many times you got to go through this? Just whooping them. And the reason why I say whooping them too is because you saw Otto's face and you saw freaking Allison's face, and they were not here for it. And I remember, and Moochie, I think you remember too, when we were on Lamont's channel and they brought up that picture, we were talking about the picture with the greens and the blacks, and I pointed out Allison, and I said, for some reason everybody else is looking forward, but Allison, she looked worried to me. And that's the reason why she's worried, because she doesn't like when Viserys gets involved, because when he gets involved, it goes back to Rhaenyra. And my thing is, I just don't understand why the heck these people can't get it in respect what this man is trying to do. So anyway, no milk of the poppy, because here it is. I'm coming to protect my freaking child that y'all keep trying to attack all the freaking time. So he's struggling up the steps. This is the part that I almost had tears in my eyes, because he's struggling up the steps, and one of the guards tries to come and help him, and he was like, no, I got it. Then his crown falls off, and then you see a hand pick up the crown, and then he's like, I said I got it. But then he turns and he sees that it's Daemon, and Daemon is like, come on, like, I got you, brother. And as I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm about to cry, because this is the moment when it all matters. Even though you want him to have been better, as throughout the years, for Viserys, and not just been like this problem child for his brother, but he's always been telling him that I would have your back. And he's showing him right here in this moment, I told you, I got you. Okay. So here it is. He got his brother, and then this is what he does. He crowns him, yo. And I was like, I love this. This is the reason why I had to use that as my thumbnail, because I just thought that it was, oh my gosh, it was so touching. It was everything to me. I feel like this is honestly the best part of the episode for me, because it just showed everything about Daemon. Everything is just expressed through his actions, and I like that about Daemon. Like, he doesn't have to talk much, I don't. And when he does talk, you better listen, because he be saying some stuff, but it's all about action. I'm sorry guys, I'm still under the weather, like for real, so I'm trying my best not to cough and all that stuff while I'm talking. So yeah, but this was a really great moment, and it was sad at the same time, because it's like, dag, his brother is dying, and now it's like he has to show this strength and that he's there for him and all that. But he should have came. I really wish that he would have took him up on his offer, and he just should have came when he told him to 6 years ago, because I think 6 years has passed. So Sabrina says that Daemon has matured and he's all about his family. Yeah. Yep. And he's always been about I guess, like, Targaryens too, like their whole that the legacy and the bloodline and all that. He's been serious about that too, which is why I think he wasn't too happy about Alicent changing everything around, and she's like really gotten to like the 7. I think she's into like worshiping the 7 or the 7-pointed star and all that stuff. So now he's sitting on the throne, and he's like, okay, like, why are we talking about matters of succession that have already been settled, right? It's crazy that he would say this, because these are words that need to echo into the future of this show or this story when he passes away. Why are we fighting or going through this whole civil war over matters of succession that have already been settled? Okay, so he says the only person that really has anything to say or that could possibly speak for Lord Corlys or would know his wishes is Rhaenys, the Princess Rhaenys. So Rhaenys gets up. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the blacks in the see, that's her little, that's Alicent looking all worried. So he said the only person that should have anything to say or can give us some insight into Corlys's wishes is Rhaenys. So Rhaenys is like, oh yes, my king, this is my husband always wanted it to go to Lucerys Velaryon. And I have always supported him. That has always been his wish. It's never changed. And I have always supported him and I still do. Right. And so she said, and as a matter of fact, I love Rhaenys. As a matter of fact, the Princess Rhaenyra has just informed me, or she just came up with this wonderful offer. And of course, I'm paraphrasing, to join our houses, marry my granddaughters to her sons. Okay, because when they were in that Godswood or wherever that was, what did she say? It doesn't matter, right? Because I'm gonna be alone and you're gonna be on your freaking knees. But now that she see that her cousin is there, now she could open her mouth and say whatever she needs to say because she knows the word is gonna stand. And my cousin wants to hear what I gotta say, so now I'm gonna say everything I need to say, and I'm gonna accept Rhaenyra's offer. And I loved how she played that hand. She know what she's doing, guys. She know what she's doing because she understands. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, and look at this guy. First of all, this is the face that Aegon had when he heard his father say, well, then that settles it. The matter of succession is settled again. Like, So this dude had like a smile on his face because he doesn't care. I feel like when he's hearing that we got the Velaryons and the Targaryens joining houses again, it puts Rhaenyra's claim stronger. Like it keeps strengthening her claim, and he's okay with that. To me, that's what that smirk meant. It meant that he's okay with it because I don't want to be king. So yeah, y'all do y'all thing and keep on strengthening Rhaenyra's claim because I'm not interested. Okay. So let's see. So now we get this dude who's gonna come out and just blatantly call the king, like tell him that what he's saying doesn't matter. You are breaking the law and all this stuff just to put your daughter on the crown, on the throne and all of this, and just being mad disrespectful. And the king is like, you are forgetting yourself, okay? And he's going off and he calls the boys bastards. But first, he was yelling and pointing at them, and Daemon was like, go ahead, say it. Like, I dare you. So he calls them bastards, and she is a whore, mad freaking loud. So the king is like, I will have your tongue for that. Before he could hardly get it out, off with his head, I guess, because he still got a chin left. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. So I was like, oh my freaking gosh. I did not see that coming. But Daemon was like, he could keep his tongue. You know what I'm saying? So here it is. They're all, Otto was like, oh, get the, disarm him and all that. And Daemon's like, no need. Like, I did what the heck I needed to do. And this is the definition of say no more. Because when his brother said, I'll have your tongue out, Daemon was like, I'm already on it. Say no more. I'm ready. Remember how I said to y'all, Daemon stands back and he watches and then he springs into action. And he did not spring into action quick enough. I mean, this guy, you couldn't do it quicker than this. All right. I was looking at the commentary for after the episode, and the actor that played Vaemon had a little joke talking about, oh, he didn't do that to my face though, did he? You see, he had to come from behind. I was like, oh my gosh, shut up. But anyway, if y'all want to hear the tea about how this situation happened in the book, it was pretty much different because he was talking trash. First of all, Vaemon in the book is Corlys's nephew, not his son. I mean, not his uncle. I mean, not his brother, right? So he brings up the matter of secession. And of course, he's calling the kids bastards and all of that. And Rhaenyra was like, all right, she's the one who took action. And she told Aunt Daemon to cut his tongue out or whatever. No, I think it was she sicked Daemon on him. And eventually they fed his body to her dragon. Okay. So that's how it went in the book. But the nephews of like the other nephews, like the cousins of Corlys, they were all upset about it, and they went to King's Landing about it. Like they basically telling on Rhaenyra and Daemon what had happened was, and they pretty much was on the same vibe, like, oh, these bastards and all of that stuff. And Viserys is like, no, tongues out. I told y'all, I warned y'all, didn't. Remember how on last week's episode, he was like, anybody else, I hear anything else about my grandsons, again, your tongues are coming out. That's exactly what happened in the book. He took them tongues out, okay? So that's how it went down. But anyway, so we got this kid over here, Aemon, looking like he's in admiration right now of his uncle. Like, he may not like him that much, but he admires him. Let's put it that way. All right, so now we see, I felt bad for her because this is her brother-in-law and we don't really know their relationship, but it didn't seem like a bad relationship. You know what I'm saying? So it looks like she does feel some type of way because once again, she's really there alone. She has her granddaughters, but she's there alone. And she's just watching his body get prepared. It just looked weird. I didn't bother to do the what do you call it, the screenshot of it, because I thought it looked crazy. But the maester warns her that she shouldn't look upon death and all that, and she was like, listen, the stranger don't care if my eyes are open or closed, because unfortunately that ninja still make his way towards me and mine, so I don't think he cares. All right, so now they are at the dinner. And everything seems all right, but you can tell there's tension because nobody is speaking or nothing like that. But Viserys, he speaks and he says, I need everybody to just put all of this stuff aside, put all your differences aside. And then he gets up and he takes his freaking mask off. Guys, I'm sorry. I gotta take the picture off first. Like, I can't look at that too long. So, hey, Cinnamon. Great point, OC. Dark sister, cut Daemon down like paper. Exactly. Okay, Moochie says Daemon with the sword quickness. I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm not very good at reading emojis. Sword fire quickness. I don't know. Pumpkin. Cutting that thing like a pumpkin, I guess. Slicing them up. Okay, so now he takes his stuff up because he's like, listen, I'm veiling myself and I'm being myself to y'all, not as a king, but as your father, your husband, your brother, your grandfather, all of that, and I'm coming to you and I'm pleading to you that, we cannot have this. All of this is going on. The House of the Dragon cannot stand with y'all acting like this. So can you please put all of that aside? If not for the realm, then for me, and so everybody does start to act a little pleasant. And then we get Rhaenyra, who gets up and she decides to make a toast. And she says, you know what? I love my father, but I just want to toast to Queen Alicent for being a devoted wife. She's standing by him and stuff like that. And Alicent kind of gives a little, to me, it was kind of weak. And she says, oh, I appreciate your kindness and all this stuff. Your words move me. And did y'all notice how Daemon was like he was looking like, let me see if I can do it right. Because Daemon was looking this way. He kind of like, let me see what you got to say. And I was like, here we go with observant Daemon. Okay, like I need to hear what this chick got to say now. What bull is gonna come out of her mouth now? So she said what she said. And then she was like, we're both mothers. I guess in a way she's trying to, justify her actions. We're both mothers and we love our children and we're more alike than we give ourselves credit for, right? And you will make a good queen. Whether she meant it, I don't know. I doubt it. But like I said, the book and this story here is different. And I don't know in this scene if the writers were trying to make her seem genuine, but whatever, right? So now we have our girl Helena again, guys, and she is always saying something, prophesying to folks, okay? And as you see going across the screen, beware the beast beneath the boards. Beware the beast beneath the boards. Like, what is that, girl? What are you saying? It's just so freaking crazy. All right. So, of course, I had to do some digging, and unfortunately, I cannot share with you what she is prophesying about without spoiling it for you. So, unfortunately, I'm sorry. I tried to come with the goods, but I'm not going to spoil it, guys, because I really feel like they cannot omit this. What happens with Helena. I told you that she does have a really messed up story behind her, a tragic story behind, she's, I'm trying to say the right words without saying too much. Oh my gosh. Okay. Her story is tragic. Bottom line, that's not going to tell you the details of the tragedy, but it is tragic. And so they're trying to say that the whole beast beneath the boards has something to do with blood and cheese. And that is all I'm going to say. And that's that. Y'all know. The people that read the books, y'all already know. So the beast beneath the boards is basically, I guess, the tunnels and the entryways into King's Landing. All right. So she gets up and listen, my girl makes a toast. All right. And you're welcome, OC. I hope I didn't spoil anything when I said blood and cheese. Just don't look it up. That's all. Don't look up blood and cheese. All right. So now she is getting a plug and she's, I'm sorry, guys. She looks a little crazy in this. I honestly, when I took the picture, when I screenshot it, I was not trying to capture a crazy look on her face, but she does look a little crazy. And she does get up and make a lot of sense. And she's trying to encourage her cousins, like, it's not so bad. Congratulations on your betrothals. It's not that bad. For the most part, he ignores you unless he's drunk. Okay. And then, she sits back down and you see Otto like, good girl. Like he's proud of her and stuff like that. So that was kind of cute. But now we see that Viserys he's starting not to feel good. Like he's in pain now. So we see Alicent tell the guards to carry him out of here and get him off to bed. But I think what he wanted to see was everybody getting along. So he didn't really get like this until he saw people getting along and, dancing and stuff like that, laughing and everything. And also we did see Jace take Helena's hand and ask her to dance. And it was supposed to be something that was offensive. Like we did see Aegon look a little annoyed by it, like what the heck is going on here, but in the book I guess it was more of an offense. And the crazy thing about it is he kept saying a lot of little smart remarks to Jace and all this stuff, and then also saying something rude to Baela. So it was like, how you gonna get mad if he asking his aunt to dance? Like, boy, y'all all family here. He don't want her. Calm down. See, that's the problem when it comes to the inbreeding. You can't say I don't want her because she's my aunt. You know what I'm saying? Because they be with brother and sister, aunts and uncles and cousins and all that. So it's crazy. But anyway, they was dancing and having a nice time. So when he leaves, the shenanigans begin. So it seems like everybody was just on their best behavior. Well, especially the adults, they were on their best behavior. But then the kids was showing out. And we see the servants put a pig right in front of freaking Aemond's. And you know what this means. Lucerys is over there and he's laughing and all this crap. Well, he's kind of giggling because he remembers the whole pig with the freaking dragon wings on him, right? And so it makes Aemon upset. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to make a toast. And he gets up and he makes a toast to his nephews. Handsome, wise, strong. And you know that set some things the heck off, okay? And they start fighting up in there and everything. They have to break it up, and it was just a lot. So once again, you know, my man, he springs into action like, okay, what I just say? Like, I don't even got to say. I'm gonna just stand here and look at you like, oh, you a troublemaker, huh? But you don't want these. You don't want this kind of trouble, do you? And Aemon has to just look at him and walk away because he don't want the smoke, because Uncle Daemon is way more seasoned than you are, okay, boo? So go have a freaking seat on your daggone dragon, all right? Anyway, so as they're leaving, let me see what you guys are saying first. You didn't spoil anything. Somebody did mention it on another channel though. Okay. Yeah, you got to be careful with them other channels because Aemon was hot as fish cream. They do be spoiling things. And I think some channels are trying to they're trying to be mindful and not spoil things as well. All right. So now, you know, they're like, go to your rooms and everything. So we see okay, so Rhaenyra is telling them, okay, we're gonna leave, we're going back home, right? And Alicent is like, why? You just got here. And I'm like, what the heck? You want her to stay? Like, what is this? Are you just gonna keep up this fakeness? You know, this is what I'm thinking. And so Rhaenyra says, okay, you know what? I'll just make sure that I see them home, and then I'll come back to you know, I'll come back on Dragonback. And Otto must be reading my mind because he's over there looking like, what the heck is going on? Why are you acting all friendly with Rhaenyra? Okay. And so that was that. And now we get to this last scene, guys, because we're about to wrap it up. We get to the last scene. I didn't show the part where Alicent is kind of like saying goodnight to him, and they're talking, and he's basically continuing a conversation. Remember when Rhaenyra went to his room and she was like, is it real? You know, Aegon's dream, A Song of Ice and Fire, is it real? And he didn't respond to her. So now he's responding. But remember, he's all pretty much doped up. Like, I got to take that off of there, guys. It's disgusting. His face is just like, look at his face. It's just gross. I can't look at it anymore. So he's basically doped up and he doesn't know who the heck he's talking to. So he thinks that he is continuing a conversation with Rhaenyra, and he's talking about, oh, you have to do it. You are the one who has to do it. I do believe in the dream that Aegon had, and you have to unite the realms and all of this stuff. So now this freaking idiot who doesn't know what the heck he's talking about, and I'm talking about Alicent, she know daggone well, she don't know what the heck he's talking about, right? But we see that she takes this as him saying that he wants their son Aegon on the throne. But sweetie, you know good and daggone well that your son Aegon is not the only Aegon in the whole Targaryen dynasty. So why did you have to think that he was talking about your son Aegon? He didn't even confirm that he was talking about your son Aegon. But we do hear that in next week's episode, this is what she's telling her father. Oh, he wants Aegon to sit the throne. No, he does not. Okay? I just can't, guys. I just freaking can't. So I just wanted to make sure that I didn't forget anything. I think I said everything that I need to say, but it was a serious episode. And oh my gosh, Calvin James, what are you on? So yeah, serious episode, and it had a lot going on, and I really enjoyed it. But guys, that's it. Viserys is gone, guys. He is gone. And I liked him. I don't know about y'all, but I liked him. I loved how he went hard for his daughter. And even though this man was in so much pain, he still said, I'm going to stand up one more time for my child, and I'm going to be there one more time for my child. And he wanted, even after that whole situation, because remember when he was coming down off of the throne and he almost fell, and Alicent was like, I need to give you something for the pain, something for the pain. He was like, no, I got to make things right. I need my mind to be right. I got to make it right. So he knows that by them giving him milk of the poppy, he's no good for nobody. He's basically just out of commission. So he kept refusing milk of the poppy that day because he's like, no, I got business to attend to. Even if this is the final thing that I do, this is what's going to happen. Okay. I'm not freaking taking no daggone milk of the poppy because y'all out of pocket right now. So I need to get up out of bed, go see about my child because y'all keep on freaking, y'all got me screwed up. Okay. Handle this situation, make it right. And now I got to call a dinner to hope that y'all come together so that when I'm gone, y'all won't be fighting about nothing. Because clearly y'all not respecting anything. And I respect his efforts, but unfortunately, all of that just went in vain. I don't know. It's really sad, guys. So I meant to show you guys how Viserys looks in the books before I get out of here. And I was going to take a little picture of it so I could show you guys. But this is how he looked. And this is like his last time with his kids and his grandkids. And he was fat, guys. Let me see if y'all can see that. So you see, he was chubby. He had meat on him. He had all of his freaking, the only thing I think that he was missing was his last two fingers, his pinky and his ring finger. But that's him. That's Helena, his daughter Helena, and her children. And that was it. And after that, he kind of went to bed and he passed away. And the crazy thing is that I don't know why they didn't do him like that in the story. They just wanted to show that he was just rotting away. I don't know. Maybe he had so much, maybe it was symbolic of him having all these worries. Even though he was trying to be peaceful and amicable, there was a lot going on in his mind. And here's another thing too. So maybe it was eating him up from the inside out. That could be one way. And another theory that other people have, it's not my own, is that they kept saying that he's being poisoned by the Maesters. And maybe that's what it is. Because they tore his body up. But this is a man who refused to die when they wanted him to, okay? He was holding on. And that is that. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry for how I sound, and I'm really trying my best. I am not going to go live for Raising Kanan recap because I need to rest. I'm trying to, thug it out, guys. This is probably my last, I was going to say my last live until I feel better, but no, I'm supposed to go live tomorrow night for The Wire. So I'm going to try to rest up because I'm going to take off because I got to take off. So I'm going to rest up, and then I think we go on The Wire at 10:30. So I should be good by then. And hopefully my voice will sound better as well. But I really appreciate you guys coming through. I hope you enjoyed this live recap. I was trying my best to stay on top of the names and not just, but yeah. Anyway, hey, the homie, I'm doing good. I'm trying, He said, I'm only on episode 3, but Steve Viserys has leprosy. Yeah, that's the thing. They said that he had leprosy, but it was just like, it was a lot. It's a lot with the leprosy thing. I think they chose the wrong disease because leprosy is supposed to be contagious, and like he was coughing all over people and stuff. So it's just really weird to me. But the man, his body is just toe up. Like he had a flesh-eating disease. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I was in your business for a second. But, flesh-eating disease, that's what it looked like to me, guys. And I know that leprosy is supposed to kind of be that. But man, oh, man. But anyway, guys, you guys have a blessed night. OC Girl, the homie, Tamika's Den. Let me see who else is in here before I go. Cinnamon, Calvin. Let's see. I don't know if I want to say hi to you, Calvin, though, because you're doing too much. You talking too much about some other stuff. So I ain't even going to mention it. Let's see. That's it, guys. Sabrina, Naya, Art Love. I'll see you guys later. Y'all have a blessed night and take care. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.